like looking at the aspirations and map them with the human goal. So we have listed the aspirations that we had when we started with the session. And when we looked into our role in understanding the role in the society, we were also able to see the human goal. So it is asked to map the aspirations with the human goal. And what is that? You are able to conclude from that. How are your aspirations mapped with the individual level, family, society, and nature? So this is one of the home assignment that has been done. Then you are asked to evaluate yourself on the 6 common graduate attributes. And it is requested to do it once in every year, maybe on your birthday, to check your progress. And also to check the list of concerns and what is the root cause. So when we are able to look into the root cause of that, then you are requested to make a list of 5 things that you can do to address it from the root cause. So it's like providing a complete holistic solution rather than going on with the piecemeal solutions. And finally, during the time that you spend in your institution, so you are asked to give out certain things by which you can contribute to complement your institution in realizing these goals. So these are some of the home assignments which was given for the last session, and hope we would have done it. And with this, after understanding my role in the society, now we will move on to the next level of existence, which is the nature. So in this session, we'll try to understand what is our role in nature. What is our role in contributing towards the harmony in the nature. So this is what we are going to discuss today. So far, we have explored about our natural acceptance. So this is the faculty which is present in every one of us. And this is like the reference that we have within each one of us. So whenever we have a question as what has to be done, then we can immediately refer to the natural acceptance and we can see what holds okay for me, what is naturally acceptable for me. So when I say this, what do you think? Living in harmony as an individual, family, or as a society, is it naturally acceptable to us? Or maybe I can redefine the question as what is naturally acceptable to us? Living in harmony or disharmony? What is naturally acceptable to you? What do you think? Is it living in harmony or disharmony? Living in harmony? Are we able to see that living in harmony is naturally acceptable to me? So if this is naturally acceptable to me, then I can also check what is naturally acceptable to me to live in harmony in the family or in disharmony, to have a feeling of relationship or opposition. What is naturally acceptable? To have trust in the society or fear in the society. So when I'm able to see that I want to have this harmony in living as an individual, a relationship in the family, and trust in the society. So, is there provision in nature or existence for the same? See, we have heard so much of notions, right? Like survival of the fittest, and starting from the beginning, we would have heard this like you have to struggle a lot for the survival, and it's like you have competition everywhere. So, it's been said, or we would have heard it like there is competition everywhere, so you need to prove yourself. That is what this term says, survival of the fittest. But when I can see that the natural acceptance for me or for everyone is to be in harmony at all the levels of existence, and we will now try to understand, is there the provision in nature or existence for the same? Is coexistence, mutual fulfillment is inherent in nature, or is the design of the nature is by the way of opposition, struggle, or as we would have heard before, is it by the survival of the fittest? So we'll try to explore the underlying design of the nature, and we will try to find it out. We will explore on all of these things. So when we hear the term or the word nature, what do you think, or what comes into your imagination? Can you reflect, like when you hear this word nature? You can respond in the chat, or you can also unmute and you can reflect it. Ocean, mountains, trees, yes. So all the things, all the units that are present around us is nature. See, here we have listed few of the units. Nature is the collection of all the units. So air is a unit, water is a unit, trees, soil, birds, animals, animal body, self, sun, metals, moon, earth, human beings, human body. So basically, whatever we see now, whatever we see around us, if you are sitting inside a room and attending the session, then whatever you see inside the room, maybe like the chair, the pen or pencil that you have, or mobile phones, your laptop, whatever is there is unit. And all of this put together, or the collection of all of these units, is nature. See, these are the very gross things that we are able to see. But we do also have very tiny, invisible units, which are not, I mean, it's not possible for our eyes to see all these things like atoms, electrons, molecules, and we do have this microbes, right? Which we are not able to see. But all of these things are nothing but the units in the nature. And collection of these units is nothing but nature. So if we count the units, if we try to count how much units are present, then there are lot and lots. We may be able to name few, we may not be knowing what else is present. So the nature comprises of very large number of units. The units are innumerable. So what we try to do in order to understand the nature, we try to classify the units on the basis of their common intrinsic properties. So one way of categorizing the nature, that is one way of categorizing the collection of unit, is shown here. So it can be categorized into 4 orders. We categorize or we group the units into 4 orders based on their intrinsic properties, so that we'll be able to have the understanding of them and try to understand what is our role in ensuring the harmony in nature. So the 4 orders which can be classified is the physical order, which comprises of the units like air, water, metal, soil, and so on. Then we have the bio order, which includes grass, plants, trees. Then we have the animal order, which comprises of the animals and bats, and human order, which has the human beings. So as mentioned, this is the one of the way of categorizing, and it's not the only way, but we classify based on some intrinsic properties of the units so that it is helpful for us to understand our role. So these are the 4 orders which comprises of the collection of units in nature. So now what I'm trying to understand, I'm trying to understand how are these 4 orders, or what is the relationship between these 4 orders. So I say that nature is the collection of units. So let me try to understand when I categorize the units into 4 order, how are they related and what is my role here. So let me try to understand what is the relationship between these orders. So to start with, let me start with the basic 2 orders of physical and bio, because I'm very much familiar with these orders. So when I look into this physical order and the bio order, what do you think? How is the relationship between these 2 orders? Say for example, so let me take an example of each order. So let me take the soil. So soil comes in physical order, and let me take a plant. For example, let me say that I take a seed, say a mango seed. So what happens when a mango seed is in the soil? What happens when a seed is in a soil? So a mango seed will give rise to a mango tree. What is the process? The seed absorbs the water, the nutrients from the soil, which is nothing but the physical order, and grows into a tree. And it develops into the different parts of the tree. A tree has the roots, stem, branches, leaves, fruits, flowers. So all of this happens. And after the life, after say some few years, then the entire tree once again gets back to the soil. And again it becomes nutrients to the soil. Are we able to see this? This is just an example of one unit from physical order and one unit from bio order. We can also see with the different units, the water which is being absorbed helps in the growth of the plant. So there is an interconnectedness and interdependency of the order. See, the physical order, the soil, the nutrients, the water, it helps in the growth of the plant. And when the plant dies or the tree dies, then it once again get back to the soil and it completes the cycle. It completes the cycle of the nature. So whatever is being given to the plant is again it got back to the soil. And here when you look into each of these units, the soil enriches the tree and the tree in turn again enriches the soil. So each unit is enriched. So the relationship between the soil and the mango seed is mutually fulfilled, where I'm able to see that there is a cyclic process in accordance with the cycle of the nature, and also in the process each and every unit is enriched, thereby it leads to the mutual fulfillment. The mutual fulfillment, which is nothing but the relatedness and the fulfillment. So the physical order and bio order, are we able to see that they are interconnected, interdependent, and they have this mutual fulfillment, a cyclic as well as the enriching process among both of them. So this soil plant interaction is just an example. And we can also try to understand with the different units of these two orders. Are we able to see this? So now we taken the animal order inside. So now let us try to understand. So we have seen the interconnectedness and interdependency of between the physical and bio. And let us take this animal order to consider an unit in the animal order, say a cow or goat or a bird. And now let us try to understand how or is there a mutual fulfillment between these three orders. So I hope we are okay with this physical and bio. And if I introduce an animal order, what happens? A cow or a goat eat grass. And in turn, they also help to spread the seed of plants from one place to another. So this is common for animals and birds, right? So we can see so much of birds. They pick up a fruit from a tree, they have it and they put it up in somewhere else, and this seed will then grow into a plant or a tree in some other place. So cyclic, and every unit is enriched. Similarly, the animals or the birds, it get air, water, and when you see its excreta, then or when it is dead, then again all the nutrients is returning back to the soil. So the mutual fulfillment is there in between the physical order as well as the animal order. A best example to see all these three orders put together is the forest. So what do you think? I mean, we human beings generally, uh, we are not there in the forest. And when you look into the forest where there are the three orders, and are we able to see that all the three orders are interdependent and interconnected? They are mutually fulfilling. And the interesting fact is like all these things are happening without the involvement of human order because we are not there in the forest. But as soon as I bring this human order into picture, what do you think? The physical, bio, and animal order till the previous slide, where I don't have uh, this human order. So we are able to see that there is a mutual fulfillment among all these three orders. But when I have this human order, are we as human getting enriched from the physical order? Say, for example, uh, the metals that we use to have the different utensils or the ornaments or the uh, the doors, all those things. We use soil, we generally get this air, water, everything from the physical order. It's helping us. And from the bio order, you can see that we use the plants and trees in different ways, starting with the as a part of the food that you have. And even we use these trees for making the doors, furnitures. So we are dependent, like we are being enriched with the help of the bio order. And going on with the animal order also, we can see we have so much of animals which are being used as a part of food, and also which are being used to go on with the different accessories that we have, starting with the shoes, bags, and so on. But are we giving anything back to them? There are three question marks in the arrows, which is pointing from human order to the other three orders. What does it indicates? But before that, let us check our natural acceptance. What is naturally acceptable to us? Is mutual fulfillment naturally acceptable to us or not? To enrich all the other three orders, is it naturally acceptable to you to enrich the other three orders or to exploit them? Exploitation or enrichment? What do you think? Yes. Are we able to see that mutual fulfillment is naturally acceptable and enriching the other order is also naturally acceptable? But what is happening now? What are we doing now? Are we enriching or are we mutually fulfilling the other three orders or are we exploiting it? So when the human order, understands that what is naturally acceptable to me, then we'll be able to fulfill, we'll be able to have this mutual fulfillment with the rest of the orders. Are we able to say this? So the example which we looked into when we have these other three orders, the forest. So this is the current scenario, right? Unless or otherwise uh, we don't get into the forest, then everything is mutually fulfilled. Every order is in mutual fulfillment. But the very moment we step in, then there comes the problem of this exploitation and resource depletion and so on. But when we look into our natural acceptance, when we check into our natural acceptance, and when we are able to see that, understand that mutually fulfilling the other orders is naturally acceptable to me, but my current status I'm exploiting, and then we'll be able to understand and we'll be able to have this harmony with the rest of the nature. We'll be able to understand our role in ensuring harmony in the nature. Are we able to see this? So I know that my current state is I'm not aware. I don't have this right understanding. because actually the very design of the nature is this interrelatedness and interconnectedness with all the other units and orders. But I don't have this right understanding, so I feel that survival of the fittest, and it's always a struggle to live in the nature. So what I have to do, I need to develop this understanding of harmony in nature and live in harmony. But that's missing from my end. So that is the reason for all the present day problems, which is only because of this lack of understanding, the lack of the right understanding. See here, there are two major problems that we have now. One is this resource depletion, and another one is the pollution. So I know that most of us, if you look into the concerns, we would have mentioned that the pollution to be the one of the major concern which is bothering us a lot when we look out, when we look at the level of nature. And some of us would have also predicted or would have mentioned that the resource depletion is going on. And we know a lot of things comes in the news, right? Like how is that we are using this fossil fuel, how is that we are using this petrol, and you know that we are moving on to the EV vehicles, the resource depletion. And what does this mean? When the resource is used at a rate which is faster than the rate at which it is produced in nature. So when I use something at a very faster rate, but it takes much more time to have produced in nature, then there will be the depletion of that particular thing. And that is termed as the resource depletion. One such example which I have gone through is the zinc, the metal zinc. Zinc is the world's most used metal after iron. I mean, after iron, aluminium, and copper. Yeah. But the zinc's utility in solar panels and battery manufacturing, like it has driven up the demand in the recent years. And it is predicted that the demand will triple up. Uh, so if it is going to, I mean, if you have this demand which is going to rise 3 times as of now, then it is also expected that there will be a shortfall by 2030. 2030 is not so far. So this is one of the example of resource depletion, and we have so much of example which we come in our day-to-day life. And the another main issue is the pollution. So pollution is the product, and it is such that it does not return to the cycle in nature. It's not cyclic, or it is produced at a rate that is faster than the rate at which it can return to the cycle. See, we have seen what is an cyclic nature. So when something is being taken off from an unit and when it is going to get back to the same unit, then that is cyclic in nature. So a pollution occurs when the product is not able to get back to the place from where it's originated, or it is produced in a faster rate than which it can get to the nature. An example, a basic example which we know is the plastic. So you know what, the general plastic bags, it is said that it will take about 1,000 years to return to nature. Plastic bottles, it will take around 450 years, and even the plastic straw that we use, it may take 200 years. So these are some of the things. So this causes the pollution. So what do you think, what can be the solution for the present day problems that we are seeing? We know that these are the present day problems, and as I said, this will be the concern for most of us, that we want to find out a solution for this. And what can be the solution? Using an alternative, yes, very true. But is this providing a complete solution to the problem, or we are finding a piecemeal solution? But when I want to look into a complete solution, isn't it working on human understanding, or will it get resolved when the human beings are able to have the right understanding in them? What do you think? Finding an alternative is a way, whereas at the same time, when I want to find out the root cause and when I want to find out a solution, working on the right understanding of the human being, will it be a good solution? So, when we talk about the nature and the collection of units in the nature is generally organized in this way, which means that anything that is needed for an order is existing in abundance. That is, we know that the bio order depends on the physical order. The plant, trees, they want the physical order to grow. And the physical order is nothing but the soil, water, air, which provides the nutrients or which provides or which helps the plant to grow. And the animal order do depend on the plant order as well as on the physical order. And finally, be the human order. So we depend on all the other three orders. So when we look into the nature, then we can see that everything is available more than what is needed in abundance. So when everything is available in abundance, when I'm able to have this right understanding of all the four orders, then I will be able to see my role in ensuring the enrichment, the protection, and right utilization of the rest of the orders. Isn't it? When I'm able to have this right understanding, see, this can be easily understood. So again, we go on to take up the example of a forest. So we know that forest has all the three orders in them and they are getting enriched. Whatever waste, I mean, can you say, have you ever found a garbage or a waste in the forest? A separate areas we have to dump the garbages or waste. A separate area where you send the all the things, or we may not be able to use all these things which are waste and we have to, I mean, get rid of it. So what is happening? There is no garbage in the forest. Each unit or the species has definite role in maintaining the balance. Nothing is dominating, rather than they are supporting each other. And there is whole lot of availability of the physical order for the plant and animal order, lot of availability of the plant order for the animal order. So now with this, we'll get back to the first question where we are trying to understand, is the design of the nature is for coexistence, mutual fulfillment, or the design of the nature is by the way of opposition, struggle, and so on. What do you think? Are we able to see that the design of the nature is for coexistence, mutual fulfillment, and it's not the other way around? So all the orders have indefinite contact except for as the human order, and that is also because of the lack of right understanding. And we know that we have seen this proposal that in human being, the body is in material domain which has a definite contact, and the self, which is a consciousness unit, it has the response of assuming. So the assuming can be without knowing or with knowing. When the assuming is without knowing, and then that is the source of the indefiniteness and the problems. So the solution is to ensure knowing, that is to understand the reality and to understand the harmony. And we also know that we have this innate faculty of natural acceptance to understand what is harmony, to understand, to have the right understanding. So for this, human education sanskar is essential, which we have seen when we talked about understanding our role in the society. So with this, when we look into the sum up of today's session, so we started to discuss about or understand about our role in nature. And nature is collection of units which can be classified into 4 orders based on their intrinsic common property. And we were able to see that there is a relationship of mutual fulfillment among all these 4 orders. The first 3 orders are already exhibiting this mutual fulfillment for each other. And they are also fulfilling for us. They are also fulfilling the human order. And it is also naturally acceptable for us to fulfill the other 3 orders. So, what is needed when I want to be a part of ensuring this harmony in nature? My role is to realize this mutual fulfillment. There exists this mutual fulfillment with all the other 3 orders, and when I step into this nature, I need to just understand that the mutual fulfillment is inherent in nature. We need not have to create it, it's already there. We just want to understand it and to live according to it. When I'm able to have this right understanding in me, and when I'm able to live accordingly, then the mutual fulfillment among the all 4 orders will be realized. And this will ensure the enrichment, protection, and right utilization of rest of the nature. And there is provision in nature for living with this mutual fulfillment. So when we step on with the next level of the students development program, then we'll be able to discuss about the whole existence and what is our role in the whole existence. So if there are any queries or reflection, we can take it up. So if not, we will have the home assignment. So your home assignment is detail out 3 activities or projects that you can do to contribute for the harmony in nature. And during your time in the institute, you can implement at least one of them. And you can also make that to be the final year project. And seeing today's problem, just find out are this natural occurrences or the root cause of that is because of the lack of right understanding in us. And what do you think? Do we have a role to play in nature for further developing the harmony in it? At least not to disturb what is already existing, to make the right utilization of the physical facility. and to evolve a way of living in harmony in nature. So, this is the home assignment for this week. And any doubts or any clarification or reflection, we can take it up. Else, we may end the session for today, and we will meet in the next week. So if we don't have anything to discuss now, then we will close the session for today. Thank you for joining the session. We will meet in the next week. Thank you and namaste.